Hi everyone, it's me, and today, Minions! How despicable can you be? Let's go!
Alright, evil friends, it's 2021. What evil thing should we do today?
We could use a network of hackers to steal the identity of thousands.
We could use an army of bots to spread our propaganda on Twitter.
We could steal billions for ourselves via a combination of underpaying workers, insider trading, and tax evasion.
We could develop a monopoly over everyone's childhood and control all of entertainment. Haha.
Man, being evil in 2021 sucks.
Banana!
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory.
Hello Internet! Welcome to Film Theory! Hello!
Show that cares about the really important issues, preparing humanity for the Minion apocalypse. Right about now, you're probably wondering why I would want to kill the Minions. On the surface, these adorable little henchmen who made their first appearance in the 2010 film Despicable Me have taken the world by storm with their cuteness, unique language, and obsession with overalls.
They're super adorable, aren't they?
Seems like the worst they could do is just annoy parents forced by their kids to watch the antics of these little yellow silos on repeat. Over and over and over and over again. But today's episode isn't just about preserving the sanity of every parent out there watching, though you are welcome for that. No, it's about preventing an extinction-level event. Think Mad Max Fury Road, but instead of riding flaming cars, you got a bunch of little yellow Tic Tacs riding around monster banana trucks. For those of you who are light on the lore, the stated purpose of a minion is to help in the creation of evil.
They're all different, but they all share the same goal. To serve the most despicable master they could find.
That's it, that is their driving cause in life, the top of their Maslow hierarchy. Oh sure, for the majority of their existence, they've been mostly harmless, serving dinosaurs, vampires, the French. But when things go right for them, they quickly become really dangerous. When Bob the Minion becomes the King of England, he changes the country's laws to give the crown to Scarlet Overkill, a woman who wants to rule via a strict dictatorship. To top it all off, in Despicable Me 3, they leave Gru because he's become less despicable, and they head out in search of a more evil employer. And you see, this matters because their numbers are rapidly growing. In a prior Film Theory episode, we learned via an official Facebook post that since teaming up with Gru in 1968, their numbers have expanded from around 230 in Minions to 10,400 by the time Despicable Me 3 rolls around. And sure, all this might not seem like a big deal now that they're working for a guy whose definition of evil is stealing trinkets from the Las Vegas Strip. Once Gru and his family aren't in the picture anymore, these henchmen will be looking for another despicable boss, and it could mean chaos, death, and destruction. Or they'll just end up working for Jeff Bezos.
Okay! Alright, that's... okay. Yep.
In short, these things are ticking time bombs that are essentially immortal, indestructible, and crave evil, which is why the world needs a plan on how to stop them before they potentially kill billions. So today, as we prep for the eventual, nay, dare I say, the inevitable Minion Wars, I'm gonna investigate these creatures to find their weaknesses so we can exploit them. Now, this at first might seem like it's an easy task, right? Like, how tough could a little yellow Tic Tac be? But when you look across all their movies and all their related media, the answer is that they're practically indestructible.
Yeah, think about it. They can't be killed, they can't be murdered, they can't be destroyed. They are literally indestructible. Yeah. It's a show's version of like Deus Ex Machina.
Temperatures, for instance, do not affect them. In the first Despicable Me, a minion floats off into space and doesn't freeze to death.
They don't die.
In a place where temperatures can reach minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit, as minus 270 Celsius. That scene also shows us that they don't need oxygen, since there's no air in space. Humans, meanwhile, would be dead in about a minute in space, so the fact that it's kicking around there for the better part of a week is mind-boggling. Speaking of biological needs, they don't appear to require all that much food. Yeah, they'll crush bananas and ice cream into their faces occasionally, and very rarely do they show signs of hunger, but judging from the fact that in the movie Minions, we see them survive in an ice cave from the time of the French Revolution in 1789, all the way until the year they meet Gru in 1968, that is 179 years without food, starving them to death isn't going to be a viable option. It's entirely possible that, like other long-living creatures such as tortoises, they can slow down their metabolism to keep themselves alive in adverse conditions or during hibernation. So if metabolic processes don't really offer us a viable solution, what about the good old-fashioned ultra-violence? Nope, these things are impossibly durable. In the competition short on the Minions Blu-ray, 2 minions survive a 25-second fall that's followed by 2 large missiles exploding. After checking out a free fall calculator for a loose calculation, that's about a 1.9-mile fall, or 3 kilometers, followed by them being in point-blank range of a missile explosion.
But they survive like piece of cake.
This isn't an isolated incident either. In Despicable Me, we see an errant rocket being shot into a crowd of minions. Instead of seeing limbs, we see the minions looking slightly scuffed and annoyed. This means the shrapnel that explodes from the rocket doesn't penetrate the minion's skin. All this also tells us is that they're resistant to heat. Temperatures of a nuclear explosion get surprisingly hot, able to reach as high as the interior of the sun, about 100 million degrees Celsius, or 180 million degrees Fahrenheit. In Minions, we see them afraid of a pool of lava, which would at most be like 1,250 Celsius, 2,282 Fahrenheit. But the fact that they can ingest anything close to an atomic warhead means that in reality, they would have nothing to be scared of. Probably just fear the unknown, right? Like, you could be resistant to lava too, but I don't encourage you to test that out anytime soon.
Alright, please don't. This is super dangerous. Please don't. Let's be safe, shall we? Thank you so much. Let's continue.
Our next guest gave us, well, actually very little information, besides the fact that he is impervious to acid.
No!
In the franchise, they've been bonked, crushed, smashed, and mashed, and they just keep going. And not just going, they enjoy it. Torture makes them laugh.
Wow, harder than I thought.
Next machine.
Seriously, in Minions, they're placed in medieval torture devices and they treat it like a playground. Their bodies are stretched, nooses don't seem to work on them, and the guy that's doing the torture is legitimately impressed by their toughness. Also, mass quantities of radiation don't seem to have long-lasting effects on him either. Kevin gets bombarded with mass quantities in Minions, becomes a giant, swallows a large rocket, explodes, and walks away totally fine. So we can't blow him up, drown him, send him into space, or wait for him to die. In true cartoon character fashion, they seem to be completely indestructible. So what do? How does humanity fight back against these adorable little yellow marshmallows? Now, this might sound crazy, but I think it all boils down to lobster. Now, follow me on this. In Despicable Me 2, the film's main antagonist, El Macho, manages to kidnap thousands of minions. And what's he do with them? He alters their DNA with a mutagen that turns them into ravaging monsters. This implies that the minions have DNA that we can exploit, and that isn't our only evidence. In the Orientation Day short film, we see that the minion clones all come from a sample of minion DNA. DNA is their weakness, their one and only weakness. So if we attack the DNA, we attack the minion, which then merits the question, how do we attack the DNA? Well, any creature that has a chance of surviving as much torture as the minions do for as long as they do must have good repair enzymes to prevent their DNA from degrading. And
But can we fix it? DNA style.
that is where the lobsters come in. You see, lobsters and minions actually have a surprising amount in common. Just like a minion, the American lobster can live for over 100 years. Lobsters have an incredible ability to regenerate and are capable of even regrowing claws. They can survive outside of the water for weeks, and when put in cold water, lobsters slow their metabolism so they don't have to eat for months. Both have evolved from the ocean. They've been around for millions of years. Man, maybe we should title this video, Minions Are Lobsters. You know what? If this video does end up being called Minions Are Lobsters, you'll know that it was because the word kill was flagged by YouTube. Anyway, one of the reasons various species of lobster can live over 100 years has to do with a special enzyme called telomerase, an enzyme that constantly fixes the bits of the telomere that are lost with each new cell division, which then begs the question of what's a telomere and why is it important? Well, a telomere is the non-coding DNA at the end of a chromosome that protects the important DNA found in the middle. It's kind of like a bumper or buffer for the DNA. A good comparison to this is, you know how shoelaces have that little plastic tip at the end to prevent the shoelace from fraying? Well, that is basically the role of the telomere. Also, fun fact, that tip of the shoelace is called an aglet. Drop that little bit of knowledge on your friend next time you see him. Anyway,
Alright, the more you know, I guess.
each time a cell divides, the telomere gets shorter and shorter, till eventually they become so short that the cell can't divide anymore. So, by inhibiting the telomerase in the minion, we'd be able to make sure that their cells can age and degrade, thus making them older and more susceptible to infections, viruses, and bacteria. In essence, we would be able to make them human and thus kill them. But how do you inhibit telomerase? Well, here's the big twist, friends. It's a step in a part of many cancer treatments. Many cancer treatments try to shut down telomerase because cancer cells contain active telomerase. This is what makes cancer so dangerous. The active telomerase allows the cancer cells to continue dividing uncontrolled, essentially making the cancer immortal. But just like we talked about with the lobsters, without telomerase activity, these cells become inactive. They stop dividing and they eventually die.
Alright, case in point, you must recognize that there are different types of cancers, there are different kinds of lobsters involved in this world, but let's be understanding and learn more about it before we make a judgment about it, alright? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, when it comes to humans, one of the biggest issues with these sorts of cancer treatments is the worry of side effects on the body. Since we're actively trying to bump off the minions, unhealthy side effects just make the job easier. We want to make the minions weaker and disrupt their wound healing and ability to fight infection, so killing off telomerase in the body is exactly what we're looking for. More good news for us minion hunters is that back in 2010, the Harvard Gazette announced that, quote, they achieved the milestone in aging science by engineering mice with a controllable telomerase gene. The researchers bred mice without telomerase, and this led to premature aging. They then reactivated the telomerase, and the work showed a dramatic reversal of the many aspects of aging, including reversal of brain disease and infertility.
Well, it's a good thing that room for improvements, so that one day we as human beings can benefit from it.
The fact that scientists are
benefit positively
out there engineering animals with telomerase genes that you can flip on and off like a light switch tells us that inhibiting telomerase is possible. In fact, according to Science Daily, scientists as recently as 2018 have made great strides on exactly this, discovering how to shut off telomerase using other enzymes that it tends to work with. This, in turn, opens up a new opportunity to indirectly block telomerase. All of this research and more has resulted in the human telomerase reverse transcriptase-derived vaccine, a very long-winded way of saying we shoot a needle into you and we start shutting the telomerase down. This also would presumably work in the world of Despicable Me. If engineered mutagens like El Macho's PX41 can alter the genetics of any living creature, then a vaccine or injection can most certainly inhibit the telomerase of our immortal little minions.
Just wait for a moment first. Do you find the funny aspect of it is like sorry. Alright, I got fat, I'm sorry.
Speaking of vaccines, it's worth noting that whatever we created would need to be injected into the minion. Why? Well, in Panic in the Mailroom, a short film about the minions who work in Gru's mailroom, a minion swallows some of the PX41 and becomes a purple ravaging monster. However, the rampage comes to a halt when the minion spits out the PX41 and goes back to normal. So it's gotta get into their system and stay in there somehow. Luckily, we know thanks to the home makeover short film that pins can penetrate minion bodies, so those little yellow dudes better be on the watch out for any stray needles headed their way. So there you have it, friends, how to kill off the unkillable yellow-skinned overall-clad monster. It's not about subjecting them to extreme hot or cold, cutting them off from air or food, or confronting them with guns and bombs. It's about taking the fight to their very cells to bring down their deadliest superpower of all, regenerating DNA.
Oh, I recognize this! I think I used this before.
Come to think of it, in an ironic twist, the most despicable thing that Gru has ever done is withhold their genetic secret from the world. Scientists have been trying to crack the answer to immortality and telomerase for decades, and apparently it's been sitting in Gru's underground bunker for the better part of 60 years. And that, my friends, is the definitive way to kill a minion. I suppose you could also go the route of, you know, making sure that their new movies flop, but considering that this is a franchise where 4 films have grossed a little over $3.7 billion at the worldwide box office.
Yes, do recognize that this franchise is literally billions of dollars. Billions of dollars involved.
Pretty sure Illumination Entertainment ain't gonna be killing off the franchise anytime soon. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Oh wow. Wait, just a moment first, I need to see the meme.
Killing off the franchise anytime soon.
Wait, just a
but
moment.
hey, that's...
Clone minions. Great and evil plans. Minion take over cause they don't die. Wait, you know they go... What? Huh. Alright,
just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video together with me. I find this video very interesting and quite unique to watch. There is some education aspects to this video, and I hope that maybe you can benefit from it. Us as human beings can learn, at least spread the awareness about it first. Anyways, if you do like this video, please remember to Like, share, and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Don't forget to follow my channel and sincerely appreciate all of the support and encouragement for my work. Thank you all so much, you're the best, and hope to see you all in my next video. But hey, that's just a theory, a film theory, and cut. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye bye, subscribe. Thank you.